Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops, great men, strong and well, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Now, the high spirit will allow you. And today I want to go into a topic entitled, well, I don't have a title for it. It was just certain things that was, flowing on my spirit. All right. Hold on, let me move out the way for this car. One thing about this highway is it's a high accident highway, which I'm glad I got this candle holder. I'm not this cell phone holder. But one thing I meditate on a lot is how Babylon has affected the nature of things, man. Babylon has affected the nature of things. Like, you can't see it right now because it's dark. Well, you can. I'm drinking beetroot juice. All right, it's supposed to be organic. All right, it's beetroot and lemon juice. Okay, and those are the only ingredients. Beetroot and lemon juice, man. Okay, and of course, by the time it comes down to the consumer, we get a tainted version of certain things. But there is a such thing as called the best of the worst. And one thing that Babylon has done, and you got devils like Bill Gates wanna pollute food, man, pollute vegetation, man. And Monsanto giving out fake seeds, man, forcing farmers to grow their seeds. But one thing that's part of our biological healing of Babylon is putting nature into our body as much as possible. Putting what comes directly from nature is into our body as much as possible. That's why the apostles, they get on juicing and having a blender. You get these certain roots. You get certain roots, man. I used to do a page, lessons called the virtues of roots. Because in Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter gets into the virtues or the healing powers of roots. But there's something that's not talked about in this fucking I can't even say this dictatorship government, man. You can't even speak on herbs, man. All right, and peace, and we give honor what honor is due, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, the apostles put us on as far as the herbs, man. All right. So one thing is I have a conviction about is unplugging from the tainted Babylonian way of things, man. And I've done all types of diets. All right, ever since I say within the last 12 years, I've done all types of diets, man. All right, since my earlier years in this truth, I've gone on detoxes. Brothers put me on the concept of a detox when I first came in. So I know how my body reacts to certain things, man. I know how my body reacts to fruit and nuts and vegetables. I know how my body reacts to healthy red meat, like lamb meat. All right? I know how my body reacts to all that. I know how my body reacts to fish. All right? But one thing my body acts adverse to, for like a lot of brothers and sisters, is processed food. Now, do I get it perfect all the time? I do not. But it's important that we get it the best way we can, man. All right? And we should hit the gym, right? Or you should work out like calisthenics and get your steps in, because this earth was designed for us to walk on the earth, because your body is an actual vehicle. Your body is the vehicle. You see? And just like a vehicle, if you don't use it, it'll just rust in nature. It'll just rust, If I'm not mistaken, Nelson Mandela, who was incarcerated for 27 years, he said there were certain men who were activists as well, who were also incarcerated, but because they did not exercise, they died from body deterioration. All right, they die from body deterioration. So exercising is very important. And exercise is even more important because the food is polluted. See, the food wasn't so polluted and it wasn't processed, you wouldn't have to exercise as much. And also, like for us to drive everywhere, that's not normal. Because the first vehicle is your avatar, your earth suit. And it gets stimulated from, you know how certain toys you may have had or certain gadgets you have, it works better once you use it. It starts to work when you use it. That's how your body is. Your earth suit works when you use it. And when you don't use it, it starts to go into like self-destruction and self-decay. But your earth suit came with a life force. Energy is your earth suit's motor. That's your earth suit's gasoline. Energy is your earth suit's gasoline. It's your earth suit's fuel source. It's energy. Every day you wake up with energy. Energy is a form of currency. You see? Now, our diet, our way of eating, and diet means lifestyle. It doesn't just mean food. Our diet is the Mediterranean diet. All right, and if you go into this website on Wikipedia, go into this article on Wikipedia called what's it called? Israelite cuisine. It goes into chiefly the Mediterranean way 2,000 years ago. And it tells you that, you know, we had a largely plant-based diet. We did eat fish. We had soups and stews, right? And chiefly we ate a lot of fish with our soup. Some days we had fish, some days we did not. You know, red meat was more of a festival thing, all right? Special occasion thing. Or if you were a part of nobility, then you would eat red meat every day. Hence King Solomon's meal, King Solomon's court. All right. I think you mentioned the ox, which Jake is real big on oxtails, man. Whether in the South or the Caribbeans, you know, on the islands. And the brother got the website GMSspiritwindLevi. I'd be surprised if you brothers didn't mention that oxtail. I could be wrong, but my presumption is y'all not a stranger to oxtails, man. You know, it's just good as fuck. Okay, but the point is, the Mediterranean diet chiefly was a plant-based diet, and of course, the animal product that we ate was fish, and meat was more festival. Now in Babylon, you're pulling up to a drive-through window every day, eating chicken sandwich or a hamburger, man. But it's processed. And when it's processed, it has no life and it has no minerals, and it cannot digest in your body. Now, if you look at the planet Earth, and you see a landfill in the planet Earth, a garbage dump landfill, well, the stuff that's in that landfill is not going to decompose anytime soon. So it pollutes the earth. It emits a lot of bacteria. It attracts a lot of microorganisms, a lot of germs. Well, what do you think is happening in your body? It's like the landfill, but it's becoming cancerous. All right? And ultimately, we need Yahweh Bahashim outside, but also it'll behoove us to change our perception of what food is. All right? In the very beginning, our diet, the food for man was fruit. And it's ironic that the Most High said, be fruitful and multiply, and our food source in the beginning was fruit. And fruit, hey, any brother tell you, brother going to fruit cleanse, man, hey, fruit make you horny, man. You know? Fruit make your libido, it'll get your libido up, man. All right? Because the Most High engineered he engineered the human race to reproduce itself, chiefly the Israelite race. But you have to understand, the original, every species has their own food that comes with their species. That's why you will label certain animals a carnivore, omnivore, or herbivore. There's whatever species you belong to, there's a food for your species. But the food for the Israelite species was fruit. Now, some brothers are actually allergic to certain fruit. I think it's because we're in Babylon. Where fruit and nuts, that's actually the chief food source for the Israelite man. Now, let's get some context. You know, from the time of Adam to the flood, that was our diet. But now, because for hundreds of years, Esau has not kept the land Sabbath, he's polluted the earth, he has intensive commercial farming, he plants his food with Monsanto seeds, with GMO seeds. Most of us can't survive off fruit alone, you see? Most of us cannot survive off fruit alone, man. Okay? It's stripped of nutrients, but in the beginning it was not so. But it's still good to have that as a chief part of your diet, fruit, vegetables. Because even with fruit, you don't have to cook it. And you have this Jake, this Israelite, Panama, I think he's from Panama, Dr. Aris Latham. And he goes into sun-fried food or sun-cooked food, basically saying that your food is cooking in the sun when it's ripening in the sun. He's talking about fruit. Now I'm on the islands, and he has these organic, pristine foods, but it's hard for us to eat like that in the States. But I'm saying I have to give perspective. And the original food source for the Hebrew man was fruit. Fruit, nuts, you see? Because it's electrical. It's a stimulant. Alright? That's how you have a vehicle. Alright, they need spark plugs, it needs that spark. Alright, need those cars need those currents. Alright? Anything that Esau creates needs some type of electrical current. Well, your body needs that electrical current. I mean, eat electrical foods. Alright? Food that has the sun's energy inside of it. It becomes like a stimulant for you. Like pineapples. Alright, citrus fruit. Alright? It becomes a stimulant for you, man. You see? But, I mean, that's pretty much the point, man. You know? Practice being in Babylon instead of self-indulgence. We practice self-love. You see? So fruit could do so much more in the ancient world before this devil came into power. Alright? And of course, after the flood, we were permitted to eat meat. You know? But you have to remember, it's good to understand context and understand purpose in creation. Because once you understand purpose in creation, it'll change your perception of what food is. It'll give you a right mindset of how to deal with food. And one thing that Esau did, he called animal carcass meat. That's deception. The substance of any food group is meat. All right? It's the meat of it. The meat of a nut is the substance of it. The meat of fruit. Because it says in Genesis 1, I want to say 29, the earth, the tree bearing fruit. All right? The fruit bearing tree, that's the meat there, that's your meat. So the original food for the human body was meat. And we eventually evolved into the Mediterranean diet, which includes, you know, fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, fish, you know, more sparingly red meat, you know. But it's mostly important how you get your food source to you. Like, what's your food source? You know, food that comes from an animal that was in a concentration camp is the least healthiest. When you eat wild caught fish, you know, we eat wild caught fish, and brothers stock up on that lamb meat, you know. You don't have to eat it all the time, but if you get some lamb meat, when it's in season down south, man, hey, we be getting that deer meat. Just some of that stuff that's off the grid is not going through those concentration camps, you know. Nothing is perfect, but you get the best of the worst. Everything is polluted, you see. But You know, even to this day, fruit has a benefit because it's so electrical, and your body responds to it in a positive way. You know, it's an electrolyte. You know, like I showed the beetroot, right? This is beetroot lemon juice, right? And it's I think it's pronounced Nud-Sen. I think that's the name of the brand, KNUDSEN. But nonetheless, you know, I've been eating things or drinking things that benefit me, and it's lately it's had an effect on my vitality. You know, because for at least I speak for myself, man. The human body really responds to food that comes directly from nature, man. Because that original food was fruits, nuts. It doesn't have to be this big course meal that you would get from Golden Corral, man, or fucking Outback Steakhouse or something. That's more like a king's meal. That's more like a king's meal, man. Now watermelon, that's a meal. Fruits, nuts, that's the meal. Of course, hey, we eat fish. We have our Hebrew diet, man, our Hebrew way. And let me get some of these scriptures before I tap out. All right. Habakkuk 2:15. Woe to him who giveth his neighbors drink, who pour out your bottles to them, and adds to it your poisonous and blighting wrath, and also make them drunk, that you may look on their strip condition and pour out foul shame on their glory. Change this down. Oil. All right. That's pretty much the point, man. All right. Just keep pushing that vibration of, hey, the Mediterranean way, our way. Also, what the components in our way, in our diet, which consists of exercising. All right, since we drive so much, in most cases, to catch the bus, it's good to exercise. But also our diet, a largely vegetation diet. We also have our fish. Animals is off the grid. Like that lamb, but chiefly that plant-based diet. Makes up a good component of the Mediterranean way. And fish is a good protein source, and it consists of omega-3s, B12. Sometimes when you go on these extreme way of eatings, like the plant-based, if you're not careful, you can have mineral deficiency. So everything is within a balance at the same time. One thing I've learned from trial and error is balance, because my mind is kind of extreme. My spirit is extreme, but I learned time and time again, it's all about balance. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters are edified. To the next time, shalom.